Back to Rose Hill Live for the running of the BMW. 2,400 metres, $1 million in prize money. This was the race, of course, that attracted international horses over a period of 4 or 5 years, but that became a very costly exercise. The Sydney Turf Club abandoned that, and it's a dead-set local product this year, Ken.
Yes, it is, John. A local product spiced with New Zealanders, and of course New Zealanders are dominating the market, or one New Zealander is, and he's the Big V, the mighty Vienda Cross. He's still at 5 to 2 on, which means if you put $1 on him, you're only going to get $1.40 back, but that's better than doing your dollar. Remember that. Here we go. Number 1, Rough Habit, a stablemate, and we just spoke to the trainer John Wheeler, as you heard. Rough Habit, a stablemate of Vienda Cross, is at 10 to 1. Jimmy Cassidy, who always rides him in Australia, is on Rough Habit. Dr. Grace is at 20 to 1. He's to go to stud in the spring. He's racing today in unfamiliar colours, the All Cerise, because he's been brought by the Ingham brothers to stand at their woodland stud in the Hunter Valley. Mercator and Luristina are both big odds, both at 100 to 1. Vienda Cross is the hot pot at 5 to 2 on, as I said, $1.40 for $1 or $2.80 for $2. Sub-Zero, the Melbourne Cup winner, is at 16 to 1. Tiaku Nick at 33 to 1. The first of the 3-year-olds, Kingston Bay, at 12 to 1. 16 Carpenter Edition, 25 Raising Kentucky, 50 Takeshi out the 60s. Larry Cassidy riding him now, and 10 to 1 Mahaya. They're about to jump. Here's John.
The tote will be down for just a couple of minutes after the running of this race. The Turf Club advisors, the stall's open and they're away now in the BMW. Good level start, and Captive Edition from the inside gate is about the first out over Sub-Zero. Raising Kentucky dropping straight onto the fence. Moving up now is the flashy filly Mahaya, followed by Tiakau Nick. Out a bit deep is Kingston Bay. Sub-Zero between horses, followed by Dr. Grace Luristina. Vianda Cross getting a fair way back on the inside of Takeshi, followed by Mercator, and Rough Habit is last as they greet the judge with a lap to go. On the turn out of the straight, the leader Mahaya wants to go faster. Tiakau Nick is second, running third on the fence. Captive Edition, Kingston Bay 3 deep, and Sub-Zero between them. A bit more than a length then to Raising Kentucky on the inside of Luristina, followed by Dr. Grace pulling a bit on the inside. Vianda Cross has come away from the rail now. A fair way back then is Mercator, followed by Takeshi, and Rough Habit on the fence as last as they go up to the 1600 pole. About to swing to the back, and the long striding Mahaya is the leader. Tiakau Nick is second, Captive Edition third. Kingston Bay fourth, a half length away on the outside. 2 lengths then to Sub-Zero, and ahead to Vianda Cross, who's sneaking up into a good posse at the 1400 mark. A length and a quarter then to Raising Kentucky, followed by Luristina, Dr. Grace, Takeshi, and Rough Habit, and a half length away last on the outside Mercator as they come to the 1200 pole. The pace is genuine and the leader is Mahaya, about 2 lengths in front of Tiakau Nick, and a length away Captive Edition, a length to Kingston Bay, a length and a half to Vianda Cross, who's 7 off the lead on the outside of Sub-Zero, a length and a half to Raising Kentucky on the inside of Luristina, going by the 1000-metre pole, and then Dr. Grace, who's a fair way back in the field, followed by Takeshi, and the last couple are Rough Habit and Mercator to the 800 mark, and Mahaya's got them flat chat, led by 2 to Tiakau Nick, a length to Captive Edition, a length to Kingston Bay, under pressure now. Here comes the Big V. Vianda Cross is starting to make up ground very quickly as they near the home turn, followed by Sub-Zero strung up on the fence. Then Raising Kentucky and Luristina. Dr. Grace under heavy pressure, followed by Rough Habit, Takeshi, and Mercator last as they come around the turn. This beautiful filly with the big white blaze, Mahaya, straightens up in front in the BMW. Captive Edition the first to go after her, and Vianda Cross is struggling a bit. He's starting to wind up now on the outside, but he's giving these 3-year-olds a bit of a start. Captive Edition shot to the front from Mahaya. Vianda Cross and old Rough Habit down the outside. He's gone past Vianda Cross. Captive Edition is well clear. Rough Habit is charging home in the last bit, but Captive Edition is holding on. He'll win. Captive Edition beat Rough Habit. Vianda Cross third, every possible hope. Fourth is Mahaya, followed by Sub-Zero, Dr. Grace. Then Tiakau Nick, Kingston Bay, Luristina, Mercator, Takeshi, and Raising Kentucky pulls up with the tail enders in the BMW of 1993. And how are you going to stop Mick Dittman?
Yes, John, how are you going to stop Mick Dittman? And isn't it a great race for 3-year-olds, this weight for age race? Carpenter Edition, ridden by Mick Dittman, was TAB number 9, and if you've backed him on the New South Wales tab, you're going to get in excess of $16 for a win and $3.20 a place. And there he is, streaking away from Mahaya in the black and gold. Vianda Cross in the pink and blue gets into second place, but Rough Habit actually passes him down the outside to run second. But there was one horse in the finish, and it was Mick Dittman. He won a $2 million race earlier in the day, and now $1 million race. And from this angle, you'll see that the others didn't really get that close to him in the finishing stages. He ran second in the New Zealand Derby at Ellerslie on Boxing Day, and today he's won the BMW worth $1 million in Australia. Second was Rough Habit, and as I said, Rough Habit on the New South Wales TAB will pay $2.20 for the place, and Viander Cross TAB number 5 for the place has paid $1.10. The winner is trained by Graham Rogerson. There we see one of the owners there cheering as the winner, Carpdiff Edition, goes to the line to win the BMW Stakes of 1993. And the trainer, Graham Rogerson, I'm sure he'll be down here shortly to welcome his charge back to scale after a marvellous win in the 1993 BMW. Rogerson kept saying that he was a top horse. He was only nosed out by the Phantom's Chance in the New Zealand Derby, as I said, at Ellerslie on Boxing Day, and today was his big day when he won the BMW. $1 million race, and John, Graham Rogerson has gone over to help the owners lead back the horse after the running of the BMW. There's Carpdiff Edition in centre screen. Mick Dittman, most excited, led back there by Lindsay Davies, the Sydney Turf Club course manager, and he'll hand the horse over to the connections very shortly. Mick Dittman, he can win on a favourite and he can win on a roughie. Johnny, I don't know how we're going to stop him.
Captive Edition is a grey colt by Karpstad from Bev Carlin, trained by Graham Rogerson, for the Tui Karamia 1991 partnership syndicate managed by M.R. Hibbert and C. Spital, and Mick Dittman completes the big double, the Golden Slipper and the BMW. Now it's a length and a half by 3/4. The time is 2:27.13. It's another race record, yet another race record, 2:27.13. Max, in going to you, this horse is owned by a partnership involving many people. One of the part owners is your friend and mine, popular Melbourne race caller John Russell.
Yes, he'd had every reason to smile too out there, and Mick, of course, not feeling any pain. The champions certainly do come out to play on one of the biggest thoroughbred days of the year. Don't you go away. There's plenty more action still to come on this edition of Wide World of Sports. We will be back.
And the gates fly back and they're off. Viander Cross jumped just a little bit awkwardly. He's back about 4th last but not far from the lead as they settle. And Carpdiff Edition just leads from Mahaya, now heading him off. Tiakau Nick 3rd, and wider out on the track is Kingston Bay, followed closely by Sub-Zero Racing Kentucky. Then Dr. Grace and Luristina covering a bit of ground from Viander Cross, who's fighting for rein. Takeshi on his outside to Mercator, and nearly a length to Rough Habit. The BMW field runs out of the straight end. Mahaya shows the way from Tiakau Nick. Carpdiff Edition settling 3rd on the inside, followed closely by Kingston Bay, who's out a bit wide from Sub-Zero. And Sub-Zero's a horse off the fence, and then Racing Kentucky Luristina. A length further back is Viander Cross, going up on the outside, 3 wide now from Dr. Grace, Takeshi, Mercator, and Rough Habit brings up the rear. At the 1600, going up to the next corner, and Mahaya, the flashy chestnut, leads the way. She's a length and 3/4. Tiakau Nick, Carpdiff Edition 3rd on the inside of Kingston Bay. Then Sub-Zero being joined by Viander Cross the outside after 1.5 to Racing Kentucky. 2 lengths then to Luristina, Dr. Grace, Takeshi next to last, Rough Habit, and Mercator's last of all, back about 15 lengths from the leader Mahaya. And by the halfway in the BMW, going down to the 1100 now, it's Mahaya, 2.5 Tiakau Nick. Then Carpdiff Edition, followed closely by Kingston Bay. Sub-Zero's got Viander Cross on his outside, and then Luristina, Racing Kentucky, a length and a half further back in the field as they start to run out of the back straight. Near the inside is Dr. Grace, and then comes Takeshi, Rough Habit, and last of all is Mercator. 800 out now, swinging to the side, and there's no change in the order. The leader is Mahaya, a length Tiakau Nick, 1.5 to Carpdiff Edition. Here's Walker letting rip now. now on. Big Vandy. Vandercross is now moving into 4th position, followed by Kingston Bay. Hard ridden. Sub-Zero locked away, and then comes Racing Kentucky. Luristina Takeshi. Rough Habit with 2 behind him. Dr. Grayson Makeda, but straightening up. And the leader here is Mahaya, the 3-year-old filly, tackled by Mick Dittman's ride. That's Captive Edition, and 2 lengths away, Vandercross. Walker riding desperately, and then Old Rough Habit joining in. Vandercross, by God, he'd need to shake a leg. The leader, Captive Edition. Rough Habit runs to second. Forget Vandercross. It's Captive Edition, the leader. Rough Habit can't get him. Another big one for Mick Dittman, and the BMW goes to Captive Edition. Second, Rough Habit. Third, Vandercross. Then Mahaya, Sub-Zero, Dr. Grace Tiakau, Nick, followed by Makata, and then Kingston Bay and Luristina, and the last 2, Racing Kentucky and Takeshi.
Number 9, Captive Edition, $16.50, $3, 1, Rough Habit, $1.90, and 5, Vandercross, $1.10.
And we have the correct weighted Ascot for 4.11 and...
At Currawa, the Donahue Handicap is race 7 at Sandown. Let's right now go to the track, and here is Ken Callender.
Thanks very much, Ken. Yes, a great day's racing winding down. We've just had the BMW and now the second leg of the double in Melbourne. I think he'll be the horse to beat over 1,300 metres. Zapari. He's won 5 of his last 6, and his last 3 in a row. His regular rider is Simon Marshall. Keita is equal favourite at 7-2, a big course, a big tip on course, and these, of course, are the Victorian TAB prices. Send a Sign at 16-1, Balmoral Bow at 11-1, 8 Darling, 10 Depinzagon. It's a funny name, isn't it? 20 Dendy Park, 12-1 Cadum. Andy's Reward is at 14-1. Big Dermot needs further than this. Fabian Alessi, the rider, at 40-1. Benbara Knight 100, Turnout 40, Mengo's Lunch 30, Aquatic Gleam and Taldisco both the same price. 125-1 Major Jugar. Copper Blast was scratched this morning. Sir Atticus at 50-1. Mentats Rule at 100-1, and Barclay Street was also scratched. A moment or two ago, I grabbed Graham Rogerson, the trainer of the winner of the BMW Captive Edition. Here's what he had to say. With me now is the trainer of Captive Edition, Mr. Graham Rogerson. Graham, he was nosed out in the New Zealand Derby. You've got your big moment today.
Well, he had a lot of bad luck in the New Zealand Derby. He pulled his plate off and he was pulled up lame, and things have gone right, but he's been one behind the 8 ball, and we give it to him Tuesday, last Saturday, Thursday again. He galloped this morning, and he still blew up today. So it'll take a good horse to beat him next week.
You told me last Saturday to watch out for him in the BMW. You said he's just coming right.
I think the BMW is a 3-year-old's race. To be fair, they're great horses, Vandercross and the other horses. But I do think this horse is probably a little bit better than his form looks. He's hopeless in wet ground, and he's a hard horse to get fit.
What about the AJC Derby?
I wouldn't like to be trained anything else.
Thanks very much, Graham.
Thank you.
Okay, that was Graham Rogerson, and now what do we pick up? Well, straight after the Golden Slipper and the BMW on the STC's big day of the year, the artist, the STC have an artist here, and he immediately colours the statues either side of the winning post. Firstly, on our left, you see the colours there of Bint Masquet, who won the Golden Slipper Stakes about an hour and 3/4 ago, and now the BMW winner, Captive Edition, and our man is just getting the Captive Edition colours right so that they can stay there until this day next year in 1994, when we'll have 2 other winners. Of course, the winner of the Golden Slipper Stakes of 1994 hasn't even raced yet, but it might only be sold at the Easter yearling sales next week. Captive Edition, of course, is likely to go on to bigger and better things, and his colours being painted there are red with dark blue sleeves and green armbands. For winning first prize today, he gets $680,000 plus a $17,000 trophy. And for a horse who's already won $263,000, that's a big jump. Takes him right up near the $1 million mark. And he's only a 3-year-old, so there's more money there to be won by Captive Edition. And of course, as you heard the trainer Graham Rogerson say, next Saturday, Easter Saturday at Randwick, he'll run in the AJC Derby, where he'll come up against the Rosehill Guineas winner, Innocent King. Okay, the horses are behind the barrier in for Melbourne for the second leg of the double. It seems they're running a few minutes late there. Zapari is the horse on everybody's lips. As I told you a moment or two ago, Zapari has won 5 of his last 6 starts And all in all, in fact, he's had 37 starts for 11 wins. He's right at the peak of his form. He races in cerise colours with green and gold V's and striped sleeves with a cerise and gold quartered cap. We just lost a picture temporarily there, but we'll get it back quickly enough. We won't miss the race, don't worry about that. On the left, Bint Masqué there in the red, black and white check V and checked armbands, and a red cap with a black and white check stripe. That certainly would have taken a while for the artist to paint, but he got it right, and of course he's got Carp de Fedition right. And there you can see the connections milling around after the BMW. Well, this is where they collect the trophies, and just as importantly, or probably more importantly, they collect the checks. Mick Dittman, he's smiling, and why wouldn't he? I think we've got time now to take a short break before we come back for the second leg of the Darley Double.
Girl.
Well, just one more to go in now for the second leg of the Darley Double at Sandown Park. The GT Donahue handicap, a race of 1,300 metres. A pretty big field. It should be an exciting contest. Time to cross to our caller at Sandown, John Russell.
The GT Donahue handicap. Soon have them on their way. Zapari is the favourite for the race. There's the light. They're off to a good start too, and down on the inside, one of the first to begin is Major Dugar in company with Andy's Reward, and Sender Sign got out very quickly, and so also towards the outside, Ben Barra Knight and Zapari is just in behind them, followed by Depingzagona. Going forward, Aquatic Gleam, and they were followed closely by Seraticus, and over on the outside, making ground as Turnout. Back behind them, Dendy Park. A length further back is Balmoral Bow, followed closely by Big Dermot. Condemns a long way back with Darling. Tel Gisco well back in the field, and Keita is last of all. Back there in company with Mango's Lunch. This leader, Andy's Reward, sitting a sizzling pace, coming up towards the 700-metre mark by 2 lengths to Sender Signer, 2 lengths to Ben Barra Knight. A couple further back is Zapari, Aquatic Gleam. Depingzagon on the inside of Seraticus. Balmoral Bow making ground, followed by Dendy Park and Mentats Ruler, and Major Dugar back behind them. Darling a long way back as they straighten up, followed by Big Dermot and Keita. They're in the straight down past the 400-metre mark now, and here comes Sender Sign out after Andy's Reward. In third place then Binbara Knight, followed by Zapari, who's struggling under his big weight a better, and down the outside Depingzagon, and they're followed by Aquatic Lehman. Balmoral Bow is joining in. Now Zapari getting up along the inside, has taken a slight lead from Sender Sign. Depingzagon finishing on Balmoral Bow down the outside, but it's Zapari. Zapari will win it. Zapari has won. Close for the minor placings there. We've got Depingzagon, Balmoral Bow, and Keita flashed up in a photo. Over on the inside, Dendy Park, followed by Darling, and they were followed next then by Benbara Knight. Further back, Tel Disco and Sender Signer, and they were followed home next then at the head of the others by Mentats Rule and Big Dermot, followed by Kadim, Aquatic Gleam and Seraticus, and last of all to finish is Turnout.
Well, what an afternoon of racing we've had. Right now, let's take a look at some of the finalists in the Australian Surf Life Saving Championships tomorrow.
Yeah, thanks, Kenny. Great shot here looking at the Pacific Ocean into the high-rise buildings. Sun's starting to go down. Fabulous competition today, and of course the big finals tomorrow. Let's have a look what's coming your way. The Open
Racing. And Andy's Reward the first to bounce out from Depingzagon and Sender Sign. Away pretty quickly was Mentats Ruled as they settled into stride now. Darling's got a long way back in the field. Zapari settles down about fourth with Andy's Reward running to the front over Sender Sign, Benbara Knight. A length and a half, Zapari up fourth outside Mentats Ruled and Aquatic Gleam, one Depingzagon, Major Dugar. They were being followed by Seraticus, and then came Turnout over on the outside. A length and a half, Balmoral Bow, Dendy Park, and then came well back in the field here over on the inside is Big Dermot. He's followed by Darling and Katem. Then came a long way from them is Keita. He's back about third last, coming up towards the home turn with Mango's Lunch and Tel Disco as last. Andy's Reward running freely in front of the 450. Led a length and a half to Sender Sign, camped right on the speed, and 2 lengths to Benbara Knight. A gap then to Aquatic Gleam, and they were followed by Depingzagon. Back behind those horses, Zapari sneaking through along the inside into a challenging roll near the 300, where it's Sender Sign going to the lead from Andy's Reward. Zapari trying to get up on the inside, wide out, Depingzagon. Dendy Park is going for the rails. Balmoral Bow late. Zapari hit the front from Sender Sign. Depingzagon, Balmoral Bow. It's Zapari in front. The Zapari's holding them by a strong win. Zapari won it by just on a length. The photo, the minors, between Balmoral Bow, Keita and Depingzagon. then Dendy Park, Major Jugar running on from Darling, and then came Kadem, followed by Mango's Lunch. Back behind them was Benbar and Knight. Send a Sign folding up Andy's Reward, and back behind them was Mentats Rule and Aquatic Gleam. Towards the tail end here is Sir Atticus and Turnout. Now they're all